Welcome to Idaithalam video demo. Idaithalam is the testing and validation platform for REST API. Idaithalam available in idaithalam.io. You can access all the source code and the API is available in api.idaithalam.io. Let's get into the Idaithalam and Idai server implementation. Idaithalam is a library that can be used for REST API contract testing. It uses Postman and few other collections as basis for a contract testing. It will generate Cucumber report and feature files. Idaithalam is the core base for executing each test based on the given collection. Idai server, it's a reference implementation of Idaithalam. Idai server provides APIs and user tester can upload the contract and he can run the test and he can update the configuration and he can rerun the test and he can get the report. And the reports are generated like Cucumber reports and execution results, summary, everything available in the server. You can access in api.idaithalam.io. Now, let's get into how to run Postman collection in Idaithalam. Let's go back to the step-by-step process. You say step, and first we have to create the Postman collection and define your test and export the Postman collection, define your parameters in the test API in Idaithalam, and you can run the test and you can check the results. This is the step you are going to follow, and let's create the Postman collection. As everybody familiar about how to create the Postman collection, I will do a quick demo to creating a Postman collection for one example, and I will use the existing Postman collection to showcase the demo. Let's get into the Postman website and let's create the collection. Let's create a new collection. I'm going to create test collection, and we can add some request and response for the testing. Let's show the quick demo of Get API and how you can create your data, the Postman collection data for Idaithalam. So I'm going to run a pet API request. Let me run the test. I have run the test. I got the response. What I'm going to do, I have to save the response. Let me save the response. I have saved the response. Similarly, I created a lot of samples. If we go back to the Idaithalam Postman collection, I have created REST API. You see, I can show the GET API, and I have created two example run. For the PUT API, I created two example run. For POST API, I created two example run. Similarly, I created for all the APIs. What I'm going to do, I'm going to export the Postman collection now. Let me export. I'm going to export the Postman collection Idaithalam. See here, I can go here and I can export, and I'm exporting this on my local. I will use this Postman collection for my Idaithalam test demo. Now I'll go back to my Idaithalam API and I have a test run test API. Let me run the test. I have already configured my request data. It requires very minimal data and you just need to upload your collection, and you have to give your endpoint run against your test, and you need to give the file name of your Postman collection, and do you want to run your test, and you can give the type of collection you are uploading. Let me upload my collection now. I'm going to select the file And if you see here, I exported my Idaithalam Postman collection. I am selecting the file and I'm going to run this test. I'm just going to run the test now. It's going to run against the, I need to select the right environment to run the test. I need to point the right environment. So I pointed the right environment. I'm running the test. It just running the test against the platform and it generated the report. And let me look at this report quickly. The report contains the test ID and status of the test and the run ID. I mean the session, the first session it ran, and the test executed status, and it also provides few other report links. And let me go back to the link to the report. It has the summary of the execution report, execution result. Let me copy the URL. Let me go back to the browser, and I can show you. And I can show you that. See here, this is the report generated. And if you see, if you go back here, and it runs all the API calls, and it provides a report. Let me go back to the get. Let me show you what are the data compared. It just compared the API request and the status, and it tests all the APIs similarly. And if you see here for the put API, it tried to test against the API endpoint and it just checked the status. And in this case, it just tests only the status. If you want to compare the response also, there is option you can provide in the request. It compare each field by field as well. If you look at this report is available for the test ID, and this is the first run, and this is the Cucumber report executed on the first execution. Let me go back again, look at other available test results. You can look at the report and it will show all the test execution. I have run only one execution. It has all the data. If I run multiple time, it will show all the summary of all the data. And I can look at what are my properties that I use to execute my test. If I look at my property, I'm running against live.virtual demo. That's my server, and this is my collection, and this is my type of object postman. Let me go back to the report again, and there is a one more the feature file. If you look at here, it can show you the generated feature file. This is the feature file generated as part of your postman collection, and it tested and run against with your test, and it generated the HTML report. Let me go back to the slideshow, and the first step was creating a postman collection. The second step was executing a postman collection. So once you set up all the postman collection, you can run against your API against Idaithalam, and then you can upload your postman collection as a showcase, and you can add your server URL, and you can run the test, and the test will be executed in the server, and it will generate the feature file, and then it will execute the feature file, and then it will generate the HTML report, and also it will generate the reports specific to the status and everything, and it provides a lot of other API to look for the data. So let me show a few other APIs available as part of Idaithalam to showcase and how you can use and look at the data. In my collection, I already created some collection to look at all my APIs, and let me use my test ID to look at other API responses. So I want to look at my latest test result. I'm just going to give my result, and I'm going to get using a get API. It's going to give me my latest test run. And if I have multiple, I have the second execution. If I want to rerun, I can use this API, rerun API. It's actually a test ID with against put. It will rerun my API. I'm going to rerun now. This is the second run. If you see here, it's a same session ID and the session ID will be 2, which means it's the second test. If you look at the report generator number 2 and the feature file and report and everything, and but actually the test result and everything available. Let me go back and look at my all report. Now I have run two executions, so I should have a two in my collection should have a two result summary. Let me run this test. Let me run this report. If you look at, I have two collection. You see the test run 1 and test run 2. Both results are available. And also, if I go back my latest execution, it will give me my latest. It was giving one. If I rerun my, it will get me the latest test run. See here, it got the second test run that was used for the second execution. Let me go back a few other APIs. We have a feature API, and if you give your test ID, it will show you what was the feature file it was used for the last run, and you can look at it. This is the feature file was used. Let me look at the current configuration available and the test run. I just give my test ID and I'm going to execute this API. Just going to give the data used for my configuration. And you can update your configuration and also you can clean up your configuration. And these are the APIs available to look at your test results. And you can the post API creates new test every time with the new test ID, and the put API performs rerun of the particular given test ID. You can run multiple times. It will generate separate session and results for the test execution. Let's go back to the next slide. And this is the execution result as we showcased in the demo. It has the feature file that generated, the report that generated, and properties that used for the test execution and the session, and also the which session, which test run it was, and the status of the test and the test ID. Everything available as part of the test result. And you can see this in every execution, and you can go and look at these data through these URLs, and you can validate against your data. Thank you for watching the demo.